reading some more poems from my Young at Heart poetry chapbook, and this first one is called Rain. I typically don't like the rain, but I can never hold a grudge or a dislike to anyone or much of anything. So that's kind of the concept behind this poem, and I kind of borrow from the old just kind of rain song, rain, rain, go away, come again some other day. So I've got rhyming at the beginning and the end of the poem, and all the poems that I'm going to read now have actually been revised since they've been in my Young at Heart chapbook. So here is Rain. Rain, rain, can't you just go away, and kindly, don't come back, ever. You make everything smell worse. Feet bottled and sopping wet, socks and shoes, trees I don't know the name of, and a sewage smell that seems to swell and sift up my nostrils to the back of my throat. You make driving a disaster, fogging windshields and shorting wires. You practically kick the sun out of the sky and bring darkness. You seep through clothes with a gritty wetness, sticky and stale, trapped against people's bodies. You erode landscapes, ruin clothes with mud, destroy hairdos, and help create colds and sicknesses. You see, I can't carry an umbrella without pretending it's a pirate sword for swashbuckling passersby, or setting it down and forgetting about it. But I guess that's not your fault. The mud you make is fun for slipping and sliding, and getting dirty often beats staying clean. Without you, there'd be no rainbows, stories of leprechauns with pots of gold, or make-out rain. You can wash away, clean, and replenish the earth. So maybe you're just misunderstood, the token bad guy, pegged from the beginning, but cycles and systems aren't so simple. It's true. The sun always seems brighter and more beautiful after you've been down. So, if today is your day, go ahead, come down, and stay. So this next poem is just titled Matt, and it's to one of my childhood best friends that I've known since kindergarten. And I've actually known a lot of my friends and still been with them and been fortunate that they still live in Cincinnati. And the ending sentiment is really the same for all of my friends. However, there's just a lot of details about Matt and I growing up that I'm hoping he won't mind me sharing on video here. So here is the poem, Matt, and in my Young at Heart chapbook, this was the last poem in it, and then there was another friend's poem that was the first poem in it. So, a lot of my writing is about friends, monsters, crazy stuff. Here is the poem, Matt. Remember when we were the world, our stuffed animals got stuck on telephone wires or under automobiles parked on the sloped driveway where we raced them in toy cars. They starred in variety show acts, but it was really us, laughing at our own jokes, our dress clothes, dirty and disheveled. You tried to bounce a golf ball off the concrete to the moon, but you busted your eye open. You laughed till you saw all the blood, and for a fat kid, I jumped that flimsy fence fast to get help. I was afraid you were going to die. You taught me to ride a bike so we could go see that girl I liked around the corner on Arrow Avenue. You'd stay behind me, protecting, guardian angel style, like we play in Mario Kart Grand Prix, to ensure that the two of us placed first and second overall. Because we win together. With you around, when I fell, it was only far enough to master the art of picking myself back up. And up or down, you were always there for me, and I'll always be there for you. And this poem I just kind of put as an insert at the end of my chapbook is kind of a joke. It's called To My Teacher Kelly, who strongly dislikes rhyming and ing words in poetry. And when I first started off with my creative writing minor at NKU, I had Kelly, and the first poem I ever wrote for her, just all of it rhymed. And she's always really nice, and she brings out the best in people. So she didn't really have anything bad to say, per se, about my poem, except she said, well, contemporary poetry doesn't really rhyme like that. And I was like, oh, crap, I got a lot to learn. But I learned that to really love poetry in any forms, I'm more of a narrative poet. I like to tell stories, but even with the lyric poetry, where there's just right imagery and the imaginative leaps, and it's kind of harder for me to connect, it's still really good stuff. So with this poem, I joke with my teacher Kelly, like, hey, if you ever get anything of mine you don't like, just light it on fire in front of the class. It'll be fun. We'll all have a laugh or two. And then at the end of the year, I actually gave her a lighter. As far as I know, she has not lit anyone's work on fire. And I was really hoping that she would, light this insert on fire from my Young at Heart poetry chapbook. She never did. But there's still more time for that. So here is my poem with lots of rhyming to my teacher Kelly, who strongly dislikes rhyming and ing words in poetry. So this poem is yearning to be burning, flames flashing and flickering while I watch, snickering, using blatant, childlike rhyming, galloping down the line with poor timing. This poem is a rusted spring, calling for you to just destroy the thing. I can get so angry at my crappy writing, and it's stupid, because it's me I'm fighting. With the slow violence of waves crashing, I'd like to see my words and ideas ashing, my mischievous green eyes twinkling, watching the paper wrinkling, as if the poem is growing old and dying, and at this point, I'm not even trying. For me, this is all rather freeing, because writing and sharing